All right. Good afternoon, Algebra 1. Sorry I couldn't be with you guys today. I wish I could be there. Hopefully, everything goes okay. Hopefully, that quiz went okay as well. If not, we'll be doing corrections, so make sure you're ready to go for that. All right. So, today, what our goal is in section 9.4 the notes, we are going to again continue to talk about multiplying polynomials. So, if you notice, our focus is still on multiplying. That's where we're going to be at for most of the rest of the unit. Now, the objective for today, it says I can multiply polynomials and answer in standard form. So notice that your answer still needs to be in standard form. We will continue to look for that. Excuse me. All right, so what I want you to do for right now, this warm-up, go ahead and work through that. That should be stuff that you would have seen in Tuesday's class. Go ahead and give that a shot here and then check your answer. So pause the video and then press play when you have worked through them. All right, so let's check your answers. On the first one, in your distributing, taking 3 multiplied by x is 3x, and then taking 3 multiplied by negative 7 is a negative 21. So for your first answer, 3x minus 21. All right, second one, here we go. So you're distributing 2x. Now, you need to be careful. Numbers multiply with numbers, variables with variables. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, x multiplied by x is x squared. And then go ahead and distribute the second time here. So take 2x multiplied by negative 4. 2 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 8. And then even though x has nothing to multiply with, you need to leave it there and leave it as 6x squared minus 8x. Okay, so here's what's going to be different about today. As we work through each of these, if you notice, now there's going to be a couple of things that are in parentheses. Here's what that's going to change for us. We are basically going to have to multiply a couple of different times, meaning we're going to have to go through and first multiply everything in the second parentheses by x, and then go back and also multiply everything in the second set of parentheses by 8. So we're going to have to do kind of 2 rounds of distributing there. All right, so starting with x. X multiplied by x, so this first x right here is going to be x squared. And then x multiplied by negative 7 is a minus 7x. Next, distributing the 8. So 8 multiplied by x is a positive 8x. And then 8 multiplied by negative 7 is a minus 56. Okay, now notice we want to write our answer in standard form. So if there's anything we can combine, we need to. If you notice, there's a couple things in the middle we should be able to put together. Negative 7 plus 8 is a positive 1, so you're going to have a plus 1x. The x squared didn't have anything to combine with, so make sure and leave that. Same with the minus 56, just leave that at the end. So x squared plus x minus 56. All right, tell you what, try one on your own. Try number 2, going to be the exact same thing. Go ahead and hit pause on the video, and then check your work in just a second. All right, getting zoomed back in here for us. Okay, so number 2, let's go ahead and check that one. So distributing x first, taking x multiplied by x is x squared, and then x multiplied by 5 is a positive 5x. Then going through and distributing the second number, the second term, so distributing the 2 here. 2 multiplied by x is 2x, and 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. And then look to combine like terms, and once again what you'll start to notice is that the 2 terms in the middle are going to be the ones that you can combine. So you're going to have x squared, 5 plus 2 would be plus 7x, and then still have your minus 10 at the end, and here would be your final answer. Alrighty. So number 3, let's go ahead and take a look at it next. So on number 3, we're going to do the same thing. What's going to be different for this one is that now we're going to essentially have to multiply by a 3x. You're going to have to multiply some extra numbers in there. So what that'll look like, take 3x multiplied by x, you get 3x squared. And then 3x multiplied by 4, you get a plus 12x. And then go through and distribute your 1. The nice thing about distributing by a 1 is it all stays the same. 1 multiplied by x is 1x, 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. So your second set of parentheses really doesn't change when you multiply by 1. And then once again, notice in the middle you've got stuff to add together. So you're going to have 3x squared. 12 plus 1 in the middle there is a plus 13x. And then put your 4 last. There would be your final answer. Alright, number 4 is going to be very similar. So tell you what, once again, pause video, work through that, and then press play when you're ready to check it. Alright, let's check it. So 2x multiplied by 5x is a 10x squared. And then 2x multiplied by 1 is a plus 2x. Alright, second one here, 3 multiplied by 5x is a plus 15x. And then 3 multiplied by 1 is a positive 3. And then again, in the middle is where you can add some stuff together. So the 10x squared first doesn't change, nothing to add it with. But 2 plus 15 would be a plus 17x. And then the plus 3 that's at the very end just has to stay there. Here would be your final answer. Alright, next one, let's take a look at it here. So, going to start by distributing 4x to each of these. 4x multiplied by 2x. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. X multiplied by x is x squared. And then 4x multiplied by 6 is a plus 24x. And then we'll go through and distribute the second number. So we're going to take negative 1 multiplied by 2x is a minus 2x. And then negative 1 plus 6 is a minus 6. And once again, sounds very familiar because we've done it a lot. Those middle two terms will combine. So 8x squared, 24 minus 2 is a plus 22x. Still have your minus 6, and there's your final answer. Now, this last one is tricky. In fact, this one is hard for even some of my students that are in Algebra 2 and up. Whenever you see this exponent, what you normally want to do is this. You normally want to take x and square it, and then 7 and square it, and say that the final answer is x squared either minus or plus 49. This is not the right answer. Please do not do that. Okay, what you have to do instead, what this 2 says, that is your exponent, remember that tells you that you need to write it twice. In other words, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to write the entire set of parentheses twice. And so if you need to make a note to yourself, write it twice. Okay, so what that means is that you just copy down x minus 7 and copy it down one more time. X minus 7 multiplied by x minus 7. Okay, so then it looks just like all the other ones we've done, where you're going to do some distributing. So x multiplied by x, you get x squared. X multiplied by negative 7, you get a minus 7x. And then go through and do your second round of distributing. So negative 7 multiplied by x is another minus 7x. Negative 7 and negative 7 multiply to be positive 49. And then again, you have a couple terms in the middle, add together. So your final answer, x squared minus 14x plus 49. So if you notice, the difference is this time when we actually write it twice, you get this middle term. If you don't do that, you get the wrong answer. Okay, so example 7, we're going to look at some special cases now. And there's going to be a pattern, so as we work through each of these, what I want you to do is start to see if you recognize the pattern. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and multiply like we normally would. So on number 7, part A, take x multiplied by x is x squared. X multiplied by 5 is 5x. And then go through and do your second round of distributing. So negative 5 multiplied by x is minus 5x. Negative 5 multiplied by 5 is a minus 25. But now, if you notice, again in the middle, you'll have two things that add together. But this time it's different because 5 plus negative 5 is 0. What that means is you get to get rid of them. And so now your final answer is just x squared minus 25. Okay, let's see what happens on the next one here. So, in example B, a multiplied by a is a squared. A multiplied by 2 is 2a. And then go through and do your second round of distributing. So, negative 2 multiplied by a is a minus 2a. Negative 2 multiplied by 2 is a minus 4. Alright, so then let's look at those middle two terms, which are going to be the ones, if something is going to simplify, it's got to be the two terms in the middle. 2a minus 2a, guess what? Those had to be 0 as well. So your final answer is just a squared minus 4. Are you starting to see a pattern? Okay, let's check. And if you think you see it, let's check and see if your pattern is right. So, in C, here we go. If we take x, multiply by, let's change this to be an x as well. I think some variables got mixed up there. But let's make this an x as well. I'll write that a little better for you here. So the second set of parentheses, let's change this to be x. Okay, so now, distributing here. X multiplied by x is x squared. X multiplied by 4 is a 4x. And then go through and do your second round of distributing. So negative 4 multiplied by x is a minus 4x. Negative 4 multiplied by 4 is a minus 16. And then look to the middle two terms. It looks like, once again, 4 minus 4 is 0. You get x squared, and you get minus 16. So, question after we've worked through all these. Can you recognize a pattern? Do you start to see how you can get to the final answer without going through all that work every single time? Okay, think about it, and then we'll talk about it. So press pause if you need some more time to think. All right, here we go. So the pattern, if you did not notice it, is that you square your first term and square your last term. So the pattern is square the first term and the last term. So square the first and last terms. Then you just subtract. Now, when you subtract, you have to leave it as subtraction. It won't be something you can combine. So to generalize, if you have a minus b and a plus b, square the first term, so a squared, square the second term, b squared, and subtract in between. Nice little shortcut. That only works if it's set up like this, to where the first terms are the same, the second terms are the same. This works. All right, so now let's apply it, because that'll save us some time. So, notice that in example 8, first terms are the same, second terms are the same. That's what lets us do this. So what you'll do, take the first term, which is x, and square it. Take the second term, which is 6, and square it, which 6 squared is not 6. 6 squared is 36. So you've got x squared, you've got 36, and then it says just subtract in between, and you're done. All right, so next one, and you see how quick these can go. Notice that x and x, 2 and 2, same terms, opposite signs, plus and minus. Again, that's what lets us do this. So take the first term, which is x, and square it. Second term, which is 2, and square it, which would give you 4. Subtract in between, x squared minus 4. Now, this last one's a little tricky. You're still going to use the same process. So notice you've got 3x and minus 5. Same terms, different signs. We call this the difference of squares, is what this is called. So if you're wondering what the name for this is what's known as the difference of squares. And it shows up a lot. It shows up even after Algebra 1, so it's something you got to remember. Now, where you need to be careful, when you take this 3x that's right here and are going to square it, you're taking the entire expression 3x and squaring it, which is where you have to take each of those terms and distribute the exponent and say 3 squared and x squared. 3 squared simplifies to be 9. X squared you leave alone. So the first term squared, when you take 3x and square it, gives you 9x squared. Take 5 and square it, is 25. Put your subtraction sign in between, and you are done. Okay, at this point we are done with notes for today. So what I need you to do, go ahead, and as soon as you're done filling out your notes, go ahead and show your notes to the sub. So the sub has your homework. As soon as you show them your notes, they will give you your homework. Now, I've let the sub know that if you get your homework done, we do get free time. Now, that free time, remember, needs to be quiet free time so that others may continue working. Do not let me have any issues with the sub. Remember, any issues with the sub is an automatic write-up, so please be on your best behavior today. All right, so sub will have your homework. Make sure to show them your notes here that you just finished, and they will give that to you. homework answer keys on Schoology so you can check your answers, as well as check your notes in case you missed anything. All right, have a great day, guys. See you next time.